Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 28, part 14. Okay, so the most gentle, sensitive woman among you, so sensitive and gentle, that she would not venture to touch the ground with the sole of her foot, will begrudge the husband she loves and her own son or daughter, the afterbirth from her womb and the children she bears. For in her dire need she intends to eat them secretly because of the suffering your enemy will inflict on you during the siege of your cities. So it's referring to a physical woman, yes, but it's also referring to the city. So it says, even the most righteous city among you intends to eat the souls and the spirits of its inhabitants. Okay, and that includes the false idols who are trying to play God, like Baal and Nebo and Chemosh and Dagon and Apollo and on and on and on, okay, who are playing the role of her husband, but they're not a valid husband. So the city is an unruly woman, so to speak, who is built on ill-gotten gains. Okay, it says folly is an unruly woman. Right, what does she do wrong? Well, in Proverbs 9, I believe it says stolen water is sweet, right? It's saying that ill-gotten gains, generational ill-gotten gains, is what they built their cities on spiritually. And therefore, they're invalid cities. They're invalid families. They're invalid churches. They're invalid peoples. They're invalid languages even, when you consider what a language actually is. Okay? It's exactly what they refer to when they use those words as a result of the cultural constraints of that language, the social, cultural, and political constraints of that language. So it goes on to say, if you do not carefully follow all the words of this law, which are written in this book, and do not revere this glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, so the Lord will send fearful plagues on you and your descendants, harsh and prolonged disasters, and severe and lingering illnesses. He will bring on you all the diseases of Egypt that you dreaded, and they will cling to you. The Lord will also bring on you every kind of sickness and disaster not recorded in this book of the law until you are destroyed, you who were as numerous as the stars in the sky. Okay, so notice they use Egypt as an example. Why Egypt? Because it goes back to the ancient disagreement in Egypt that the Bible is trying to account for with Abraham and Joseph and Moses. And Joseph and his brothers and Moses, etc., when Jesus hid in Egypt. So the Egyptians recorded that there's a struggle between good and evil over the direction of society, and if the Pharaoh was to ever die, that the people would spiritually die and they'd be lost in darkness. We see this in the movies. We see various people explain it in their own ways with their ulterior motives. Okay. So in the Bible, Abraham goes to Egypt and he lies about who his wife is. We see Joseph goes to Egypt and he marries Potiphera, the daughter of Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, the high priest of Ra. We see that Moses splits the Red Sea. He kills an Egyptian. There's plagues on Egypt. Okay, so it's saying that the Jews are not exempt from affliction and punishments from God, because God's true chosen are the righteous, not people based on their flesh. So what happens is they become people of Sodom and Gomorrah. They become the people